Okay. Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, February the 8th. The year is 2023. Let's talk trading. What waiting looks like with Walmal Part 2. Actually, it should say Part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Walmal. You shared yesterday, but we realized we didn't include the part about money management and waiting. So, and someone else also said they want to take a look at your old list. They were asking you to upload it somewhere for everybody.
I can go do that. I can go track that sucker down.
Hey,
probably on my old computer, but I can find that.
Hey, I say it looks like it's a good thing I didn't take that short trying to get that return bar because prices looks like it's heading back to 121.
Yep. Once you go back up there and maybe challenge that 00 up there again, that's what price does. That's what it's funny because I know this is off topic a little bit, but it's important to talk about. That's what the pound likes to do. Some instruments they get a direction and they just gun and running. The pound on the other hand, it likes to it picks the direction, no doubt about it, but it's going to go challenge the previous whatever multiple times over, before it actually finally goes and says, hey, this is what we're going to go and do for today. And it took me a while to figure that out. And once I figured that out, that's where you can make money because you realize that, hey, don't just count all your chickens in one basket, that's it, or all your eggs in a basket, because the thing is, just because it's running down now doesn't mean it's going to continue to run down. And I say all that because of what you just said, but also it runs into what the topic is. If you think about it, that's your money management, and you got to be very careful with your money management. And just because, like for instance, yesterday, I said at the time that my bias was wrong, and it turned out that I was right about that. If you look at yesterday, my bias was right. Probably about a half hour or an hour after we finished doing the video, the pound shot up. But the thing is, you can't just believe that your bias is always going to be true because it's going to turn around, especially with the pound, because it turned around and went down, and I mean it went down hard. And so you just got to be very careful with that, and that's where waiting. It matters. What are you doing while you're waiting? If you're waiting for your trade to show up, what are you doing? What are you thinking about? And money management's got to be part of it. And what that means is, for me anyway, I have my money management, especially in the beginning, was I'm willing to lose this much for a particular trade. I'm willing to lose this much for a particular day. I'm willing to lose this much for a particular week. And, and that's just simply it. And my rule of thumb is on any particular trade, I'm willing to lose 1% of my account. On any particular day, I'm willing to lose 3%. Okay? That's it. And any particular week, I'm willing to lose 5%. Period. End the conversation. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, where my money management kind of differs a little bit is if I'm up significantly over my core for the day, okay, I may go and up the amount that I'm willing to lose on a particular trade. Maybe 1%, from 1% to 1.5%, sometimes as much as even 2%. If I'm up that much, I'm willing to go do that because sometimes it's worth, because of the way the pound moves and the fact that the pound likes to recover, I'm willing to go and say, you know what? I'm just willing to go and do that. I'm willing to lose this much on this particular trade because I have a really good suspicion that the pound is going to want to go back and test that upper limit again, and I'll take that chance. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, but that's just what I'm willing to go and do. So that's where money management plays in for me in terms of the waiting game. You're sitting there and you're waiting and you're figuring those things out. You're sitting there, This is it's the type of thing we say, all the time. If you see your trade, you take your trade. Don't think about it. But the thing is, prior to going and taking that trade, there is some thinking that has to go into play. Making sure that you're following your rules. The thinking that you're doing is making sure that you're following your rules. The thinking that you're doing is making sure you haven't violated anything. Going out, checking to make sure there's not some upcoming news that you forgot about. Or what if, this happened to us a couple of weeks ago. There was a surprise announcement by one of the Fed members came out and started speaking. It was not there. It wasn't announced that this guy was going to come out and speak. And, I'm sitting there waiting for my trade, and all of a sudden the market went eerily quiet. And it's like, when it goes eerily quiet, to me, sometimes that's a danger sign. It's sort of like, you're out in the forest, and all of a sudden every animal is deaf quiet. Something is up. So I went out there and checked, and all of a sudden, oh, this dude's coming out to speak. That wasn't there before. When did that show up? So again, during that waiting time, that's your thinking time. It's not, your thinking time doesn't happen while you're in the trade. It doesn't happen as you're going into the trade. No, it happens, as you're preparing for the day. It happens between trades, making sure that you're staying on task. At least for me, that's the most important thing.
Right, but on the money management though, when you're waiting, are you recalculating, or kind of specifically, what are you doing? So let the traders know.
Yeah, I do not recalculate. Okay. At this point in time in my career, I don't recalculate. I have a account size, and I basically assume my account size is that size, period, end of conversation. Okay, because I know that the 135 percentages that I have will always keep me out of trouble. When I will recalculate is at the end of a week. I'll go recalculate then, or at least go and check the numbers to make sure that I'm within spec there. That's when I'll go and recalculate. But I'm not going to recalculate, especially in the middle of the day. It's, to me, and I know folks do this, and I know you can make a lot more money doing this, but what they'll do is they'll say, okay, hey, I'm up, 6% for the day. That means I can recalculate, and my 1%, the amount that I'm allowed to go and lose on a trade on 1% is no longer, let's say, $200. It's now $220. I'm not going to do that. It's just, to me, that's, it's too much to have in my little pea brain, and it's sort of like, I want to know that on the trade, I'm willing to lose X dollars. And when I see that number come across in my terminal window, I know it's time to get out. And to be honest with you, I have an EA that I have that does that for me. So I don't even have to think about it. It just knows, hey, I'm going to go and, at this point in time, I don't want to even think about it. I just want it to happen. I want it to be executed, so I can't have my emotions play into it. Because at least I know for me, once my emotions get involved, it's game over for me. And I start making mistakes, and next thing you know, I'm down, 30, 40 pips for the day.
Right.
Then I got serious problems.
Right. Hey, did you take that short off the third dot?
No, I did not. I was yakking my head off.
No, I just saw it pop up there.
Yeah, that's a good trade to have taken. It's especially what I really like about it is you got right now we're on the fourth dot. The current dot is also magenta. But what I like about it is you got a down candle, then you had a slight up candle, which also closed below the magenta. Then you had another down candle, and then you take the break of the box. That's to me that's sort of like easy money, because you're guaranteed. You're not guaranteed anything in life, but you're almost guaranteed that you're going to get 2 to 3 pips on that particular trade.
Right, because see, what clued me in was we had this return bar, right? This up return bar, that big one there and it was like, then we had another one that was pretty much a return bar, and then it consolidated. and then it broke out of the higher low box, and then it came back into it but didn't make a new high, and then it came down hard because in this whole area, let's see which chart shows it, we came off the previous day's high right there, call it 2095, and it didn't close above it, and then it tested it and didn't break it, and so it's pretty much red candle since then.
Yeah, it's been toast ever since, And what we've had, and the thing that's interesting about it is that we've had, a couple of times we've had, some white candles in there, which generally means that it's actually moving down in a nice progression, which allows it to, basically for people to catch up to where the market is. That's kind of what happens. And if you look, and where you really see that is if you got your multimeter for the EMA5 close up there, you look at that, and from the M1 all the way up to the H4, we're not very far away from the EMA5, which means that we're it's following a nice progression, and it's not like you like to say that if you get 18 pips away from the M30, it's time to go the other direction, or at least start looking for a trigger to go the other direction. That's not a trigger for a trade, but it's more of, okay, it's probably gotten so far away from where people are at. And that's kind of what's happening, is that it made this big move in this direction, did it so fast that there are people that are left stranded from the other side. And those people, especially if they got big money, they're going to do their Jim Dandy to get back into that direction to try to go and make some of that money back up. So that, they're going to take a loss, but let's see if at least we can go and, somehow go and minimize the amount that we take in terms of a loss. Or at least that's my story and my belief of what happens with the market.
Yeah. So is there anything else? You got about 2 minutes left. Anything else on money management and waiting, or waiting in general?
Well, going back to the money management thing, and waiting, the reality is, for me, as you know, Chiro, that, for me, the most important thing is money management. It is the top priority. So no matter what we're doing, whether we're talking about your methodology, your strategy, everything has got to come down to money management. So as you're waiting, what you're doing is you're not changing your money management. You don't do that. But what you are doing is, during your waiting periods, what you're doing is or at least for me anyway, what I feel that I need to do is I need to go back and check myself. I need to begin making sure that I'm still within the framework of the money management that I've set up. And I've said to you in the past, it almost seems like if you keep your money management in check, you can have a system that, or a methodology that only wins 50% of the time. But if your money management's in place, and it's a good solid money management, you still should come on top. Maybe not by very much, but you still should be able to come on top. Let's face it, that's what our friends out in Las Vegas did. Reality is, they win, but they're only winning by 0.5% or 1%. That's all they're looking for. But because their money management's in place, and every step of the way, they're able to go and make billions of dollars every year.
Yeah, well, their money management's in place, and the games have the positive expectation for the house, and that's why if you get caught counting cards, you get asked to leave, and then if you come back and count, you might get your legs broken. So, fellow traders, that's part 2 of what waiting looks like. So let me know what waiting looks like for you in the comments, and I guess I'll probably share what waiting looks like to me in the next video. And while you're waiting, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.